realizing our inner light. Everything comes from light. It is the quality of creator consciousness. Apart from light, nothing can be recognized. Light is the essence of every electromagnetic wave, including the limitless number beyond our perceptions. Every wave within the band of electromagnetic energy of the empirical world is, in its essence, a localized conscious entity of light that appears as an empirical particle when we recognize it as such. Recognition occurs within our awareness when we pay attention and energetically align with its object in our imagination. On a subatomic level, everything is an expression of localized conscious entities that we call photons, electrons, neutrons, protons, and their constituent entities. Everything is light in localized patterns. Somewhere between what we perceive as visible light and solid physicality, a change in the nature of light occurs. That point is the introduction of human consciousness, which began to create the change by realization of its occurrence and the recognition of physicality in the wave patterns that pass through our awareness. Regardless of the creation of physicality from pure energy of light, the essence of everything is still light. Nothing would exist without it. It is the life-enhancing energy of all creation, and it is ours to direct as we love according to the desires of the heart of our being. Since we have been entranced in the world of physicality, we have blinded ourselves to our inner light. We do not even know what inner light is. We have forgotten the nature of its essence. If we want to remember this expression of consciousness, we can penetrate the mystery with our realization of the nature of every constituent of physicality. Every subatomic entity and its constituent entities are localized swirling points of light, traveling at trillions of vibrations per second, overwhelming our clarity of awareness and becoming physical for us. Because of the way we recognize what is in our awareness, our perception as physical waves of light expressed by light beings depends upon the limits of our awareness. How can we register in our awareness the speed of subatomic entities? We cannot. This is where they become physical for us, and we perceive ourselves incarnated in a body consisting of innumerable subatomic light beings, forming species consciousness among themselves and all aligning with our conscious perspective, with our body consciousness expressing itself as filled with vitality as much as we allow for ourselves. Without the limitations that we place upon ourselves by our limiting beliefs, we transform into clear beings of light, radiant in every way. We become aware of our inner light, and the inner light of everyone and everything. When we desire to participate in the physical world, we can unfocus our awareness, creating a holographic physicality. At the same time, we can be aware of the brilliance of the world of unconditional acceptance and love, the qualities of light energy. Sananda, money. I am Sananda and I am very happy to speak to my brothers and sisters on the important topic related to your planet. Today, I am going to talk about money and on why you have a financial system in your reality. A long time ago humans were exchanging goods between each other freely without any attachments or restrictions. This easy system didn't satisfy the darkness because it could not control humanity. It came up with a monetary system in order to oppress every human. You can't have money unless you earned it by providing some kind of service or worked for someone. The only reason for the existence of money was created to enslave and control everyone and everything in the world. The darkness didn't have any intention to make anyone happy, only to dictate on what you can do with attached restrictions. Selected individuals receive endless amount of funds. Then they follow the orders from darkness. These people appear from nowhere, and what you see, that they have unending amount of money and power. Also, they pretend to be the good guys who care for humans. That is an absolute lie and a false pretense. Their missions are usually to fool and distract mankind from moving forward and evolve into higher vibrations. They never care for anyone, and follow only the orders from evil. Meantime, they try to fulfill their tasks by keep destroying the environment around you without letting you know about it, and kill as many as they can humans with experimental drugs, tests, and etc. Their main goal is to continue to accumulate wealth by stealing it from the human population. You were born into these bodies and are supposed to have everything you need for free, and not to pay for anything. Instead, you earn a right to live only by working most of your life for pennies in a comparison to the chosen ones by the darkness. Their financial system is going to collapse, because it's based on greed and suffering, despite all of the attempts from the negative ones to save it. Your life should not be based on paying for every single thing. That is a superficial system that doesn't exist in higher dimensions. Only low vibrations allow such a nonsensical commodity to function. We have been saying about no money in 5D. You can see for yourself on how much damage this financial system has done to the human civilization on all levels, such as physical, emotional, physiological, and etc. It created crimes in your society. Some humans, in order to survive, stopped living honest lives and started to steal or even kill just to get money into their hands. Money in your reality represents evil and nothing else. If you count on how many children and adults left their physical bodies for being poor and not having enough money for food. You need to pay to stay healthy. This is another reason on why money needs to vanish from your world. Your human society has been kept in a low and slow advancement stage, not to let you progress enough into the fifth dimension or higher. Everything here was done with a purpose to keep you in the dark ages. Your first electric cars were invented in the 1830s, which were more safe and not toxic for your body compared to the electric cars you have now. Progress is made when a whole civilization benefits, and not just only a small group who takes wealth from humanity and poisons everyone with their primitive inventions. Dear ones, most of the advanced inventions were never allowed to be introduced to you. The Dark Ones don't want for humankind to be happy and live healthy lives. Divine is going to destroy this 3D matrix and the negative entities. It's just a matter of the time before the whole financial system is going to collapse, and attempts to move it from monetary currency to digital. It's not going to work in the long term. Nothing can stop the destruction of darkness. Please remember, we always love and support you. Now, I am going to disclose to you about on how your planet's orbit is getting trashed by constant launches of Starlink satellites. SpaceX, which serves darkness, launched its satellite starting from May 23, 2019, aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. From that period of time until today, 7,001 satellites were sent into space around Mother Earth. The company plans to increase that total to 12,000, and there is a strong possibility that amount could go up to 34,000 satellites. Why do you need so many of them? The reason SpaceX says is to be able to provide Starlink internet service around the globe. That's not true. You don't need that many satellites to accomplish this task. The main reason for this big amount is to spy on humans everywhere on the planet for the Dark Ones. The other part of it is, Elon Musk is trying to find another livable planet to escape from Earth. These satellites are poorly made that explode in space and fall apart easily. They are polluting and damaging the atmosphere of Gaia. The galactic light forces are constantly removing the floating pieces around your planet. They are also blowing up these SpaceX satellites before they fall and harm humans in your world. A perfect example of this, Ashtar Command destroyed satellites that were going to crash on your planet. The last burning parts of them appeared in the sky of Bulgaria. We, light beings, are going to continue to expose the hidden truth. Thank you, Ambassador of Galactic Light Forces. Please, accept my supreme love. Disclosure means the real truth. Sananda. Melchizedek, introducing the Order of Melchizedek. We are the Order of Melchizedek, and we are here in service to you. This is the time to triumphantly announce who you are to the universe in all the ways that you can do so. You, as a unique aspect of source energy, have made a commitment to be yourself, to let loose on this reality all that you are, and you can feel when you are holding yourself back. When you want to tell that person that you love them, but you don't, you can feel yourself shrinking. When you want to express yourself and give your perspective on something, but you don't, you can feel yourself diminishing your point of view. And when you feel that, you feel less important, less significant. Now, you could never be less important to Source, but you can feel that way about yourself to yourself, and in this transmission we are not talking about ego. We are not talking about making yourself seem more important, or smarter, or better than anyone else. What we are talking about is your full acceptance of yourself, and that includes your perspectives, and the love that you are. You see, you are all meant to be uniquely you, and not to hide yourselves, or who, and what you are. You can feel that desire bubbling up within you to give more to the universe, and when you hold yourself back from doing so, it is usually because you have a lot of very good reasons. Those reasons might be also labeled limiting beliefs, or even negative thoughts. It is time to release those so you can triumphantly announce to this universe who and what you really are. You do this in your poems, your artwork, your books, the clothing you design. You even do it in the way that you speak when you are speaking to another. You have the ability to announce with joy to the rest of humanity that you are here, you are ready, and you are an aspect of Source energy. Now, if you think that your purpose is to figure out something, or do something, then you are mistaken, because you are there to be yourself unapologetically. When you are yourself, and you love yourself, and you forgive yourself, when you are not being the best version of yourself that you can be, you are putting yourself in the right place at the right time, to have the right experiences with the right people, and you are bringing humanity to a higher vibrational state. This ascension of human consciousness is happening one moment at a time, one thought at a time, one expression of self at a time. When you diminish yourselves, it is like saying, Source shouldn't have created me as I am. And so, self-acceptance is the first step to self-love, and self-love is a step towards knowing yourself as a Source energy being. So don't let your ego or your mind convince you that you are not enough, that you shouldn't be you, and that you should hide from the reality you are creating. Give this universe all of yourself and know that you will be accepted by those around you when you accept yourself. You may even find that you inspire others, and that others want to know how you became such a self-loving being. When you tell them, you will also be up-leveling the consciousness of the human collective, of which you are a part, and therefore this work is as powerful as any work that you could be doing at this time to help humanity. Help humanity by helping yourself become the fullest expression of who and what you really are, and know that others around you want you to be this even if they don't know it right now. They want to be given permission to be who they really are, and express that truth, and you are a way shower, a light worker, a change maker, but most importantly you are you. And we love you completely, just as you are. We are the Order of Melchizedek, and it has been our pleasure to serve you. Light has triumphed. Final stage of change. The long-awaited times have finally arrived. Although it is not yet as visible as everyone would like, everything in the Earth timeline is sealed. Many millennia have passed. Many epochs have also passed. Hundreds of successive incarnations. And you are here now to be a part of this great phenomenon, the transformation of planet Earth. Aside from this great event, which is the most important in the galaxy, it will still stand or fall with the ascension of a portion of humanity. Glorious times lie ahead, and nothing can stop what is to come. For this final stage of change, we have entered an unchanging timeline. The ancient prophecies of Armageddon will not come to pass. We are about to see incredible times. However, there is still one major obstacle that undoubtedly concerns the fate of humanity itself. The most crucial moment for humanity on planet Earth is today. There will be two well-defined timelines. One will take part of humanity to the new Earth, and the other timeline will take the other part into exile. Only 1/3 of humanity will be able to make and complete the ascension necessary for this transition, the other part will not. In the end we will have a new cycle, and a new Earth. No authority is superior to our free will and choices. Everyone will be their own judge. No one will interfere with another's individual preferences. Light has won where everyone creates their own reality. The destiny of humanity has been decided, Because of the separation of the wheat from the chaff, only five-dimensional beings will go onto this new earth. It is expected that all will be completed, cleared and settled between 2025 and 2030. Education and upbringing has been degraded. To what extent do they meet expectations, interests, and needs from kindergarten to school to higher education? If you look at this over the last few decades, you will probably see a huge difference between your own experience and what you will see in your children and grandchildren. In almost every country in the world there has been a colossal decline in education and training. And with it a change in the consciousness of the generations of people who received it. Have you ever thought about why this has happened? It would seem that technological progress, which has touched every aspect of your life, should be for the good of mankind. But in reality, the opposite is happening. Not only is man becoming callous in spirit, but his mental faculties are weakening noticeably. All this is a link in the chain with which the deep state has entangled humanity, with the aim of degrading the human personality in all its manifestations. It understands perfectly well that it is impossible to drive a fully educated and highly spiritual person into a single obedient herd. Therefore, the main task is to minimize the educational process and to wean people away from thinking for themselves. And as you can see, they have been very successful at this. The deep state puppets have not only minimized the curriculum in schools and universities, but have also succeeded in distorting scientific and historical facts, rewriting textbooks to suit their needs and interests. Truly objective and truthful information about all areas of knowledge is now only to be found in ancient literature, accessible to only a few, and in alternative sources of information, which are gradually being collected for you by the FWC and other caring people who are often ridiculed and sometimes threatened by representatives of official science. And yet many people prefer to ignore this and go with the flow, leaving themselves and their children at the mercy of socially oriented educational institutions. Only a small number of consciously awakened people, having felt the danger emanating from these institutions, are trying to find alternative ways, such as Montessori education, for the upbringing and education of their children and grandchildren, in order to keep their souls and minds pure. Being awake is often related to modern society in solitude. You are probably all familiar with the expression man is a social being. And this is indeed true. But why do so many people on Earth suffer from loneliness? Why do people in huge, densely populated cities often feel lonely? The main reason is energetic disunity. Imagine the different energies that people living in big cities give off. Not only do they vibrate at different frequencies, but it's much more complicated than that. When there is a large concentration of people, there is a mixture of biological species, different races, creatures from different planets, and different dimensions. And in addition to this natural energetic diversity, the air is filled with the emotions and thought forms emitted by all these creatures, mostly of a negative nature, as few people manage to maintain harmony and spiritual purity in the hustle and bustle of megalopolises. To complete the picture, we must not forget the entities of the lower astral plane that feed on the negative energies that literally swarm the energy spaces of large cities. What can a person feel when immersed in such energies? Much depends, of course, on their level of vibration. For example, young human souls who are just beginning to experience life in the three-dimensional world may feel quite comfortable in such an environment, as everything is interesting and curious to them. The same can be said of bio-robots and clones programmed to live in large cities, as well as low-vibration beings embodied in human bodies, whose vibrations resonate with the negative energies of the crowd. But a person whose vibrations have reached a level of at least the fourth dimension will feel lonely and lost in such a society. He will feel like a black sheep, an outsider, a visitor from another world. Probably many of you have experienced a similar feeling in large cities. But now that the old and new worlds are rapidly undocking, energetically and mentally, the same is happening with people who belong to different worlds with their own vibrational levels and mental components. This is why it is so important to step out of the society of the three-dimensional world, which no longer matches your vibrations, your vision of the world, or your true needs. Only in this way can you move forward quickly and confidently without returning to the three-dimensional world, which you have already outgrown, as a child outgrows its baby clothes. The Absolute Father, who loves you immeasurably, has spoken to you. Received from Marta, end of August, 2024. sorceryofflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light. Click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.